check me, boo.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So before we get started, remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you see that every time that I post. If you like the content, give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to add something, feel free to do blah, 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 blah. Sorry. If you want to add something, feel free to what is going on? Y'all, I'm drinking wine in my mind. Y'all know what I'm saying. If you want to say something, leave it in the comments below, okay? Okay, so we are back for episode 6, the finale of Blood and Water. Now, we start right back at this messy-ass dinner party that KB dad has orchestrated, right? So when Fakili got there, Wade sent her a voice message telling her, like, hey, KB's dad might have something to do. Have something to do with your sister's disappearance. She didn't listen to it. She went on into this party, right? Went over for a second, and his dad, like, introduced her to Fakili and her mom. He was like, oh, you guys are friends, but, you know, not really. So Fakili walked off, and then Pauline was like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. Pauline goes to the bathroom to try to listen to the voice message, right? And guess who walked in on her? Fakili's mom. I was like, okay, crazy lady, because this is weird. You just walk in on the bathroom on people. Like, you knock first, which she did. But you knock first, but you don't then just open the bathroom. Like, she was just in there for a second time. So I was coming to see if you were okay. I was like, okay. So she was like, oh, you know, we're about to eat dinner or whatever. At the dinner table, Pauline is, like, kind of distracted. She's glued to her phone because she's trying to talk to Wade and stuff, right? Well, at the dinner table, somebody mentioned something about a student-teacher affair at their school, right? And so the three of them, KB, Fakili, and Pauline, were looking at each other crazy, like, oh, shoot. Fakili's mom is trying to put Pauline's back against the wall, right? She asked her why she transferred to Parkhurst, right? And I was like, you know, because you're messy. You know. At the same time, there's a group chat that is started throughout the students at Parkhurst, right? So basically it's a group chat that's committed to bullying Fakili, basically, and they're talking about how, you know, she's the shy chick of swim coach, right? And so out of anger, Fakili comes out of her face and is telling everybody at the table who Pauline's dad is, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you know, she's letting all the business out, you know, like, oh yeah, he's being accused of, you know, selling his child off into human trafficking, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, girl. So KB's dad lets it slip that Pauline's dad's trial is coming up soon. And so clearly Pauline did not know this. So she was like, what? And he was like, Pauline gets up. She's like, all right, I don't have enough of this. And she runs out on the dinner party, right? So KB is pissed about this whole thing because he's like, how dare I bring a girl home for you to meet and then you humiliate her? So he got up and he left. He was mad. He said he was sick of this. Well, he just said he was sick of it. So he got up and he left, right? So when Pauline gets home, she confronts her dad, or more like he came to her room, so then she asked him about his trial coming up. He's like, oh yeah, my trial is coming up. And she's basically telling him that she wants to be there. And he was like, no, you know, we don't want you to be there. Because he was just telling her, like, you know, things could come out in court. He was like, they're going to be, it's going to be the truth wrapped in lies. And, like, you know, I've been saying for the longest time now, I want to know what it is that he did that he's saying that the police might have on him. And so I'm like, okay. You know, she tells him, you know, she's afraid to lose him, you know, because she's not sure if he's going to go to jail or not. And so he's just like, you know, we're just going to hope for it. At KB's house, he's sulking, and in comes Fakili, honey, with some gin. And I was like, oh, they just let y'all walk around the house with alcohol like it ain't nothing. But she comes in with some gin, and they start just wallowing in their sorrows, basically. She's talking about how, you know, for as long as she can remember, people have always told her what to do, how to do. And I was like, yeah, I can definitely tell. Because as soon as Chris says something, you just do whatever. You let him put that battery in your back, honey. And you just So, and then KB is just saying, you know, like, Fakili is one of the few girls that he's liked since that Pauline is one of the few girls that he's liked since him and Fakili broke up. And Fakili comes out of her face. She wants to know why KB likes Pauline so much. And KB is trying to figure out, like, you knew this man was married, but you still chose to indulge yourself in a relationship with him. Like, what were you doing? So they're in there, and all of a sudden, faces touch faces, mouths touch mouths, and we start making out. And I was like, what is going on here? Now, it is broken up because Fakili's mom knocks on the door. She's like, hey, we're leaving. I was like, oh, y'all got some explaining to do. Y'all got some explaining to do. I wanted to slap both of them. I was like, what is y'all doing? Besides the fact that that Fakili will let Chris put a battery in her back and she operates and does whatever basically he tells her to do. I also don't like the fact that Fakili has this thing where it's like she's been glorified for so long that when she does do wrong, like, she wants people to overlook it like it didn't happen. I'm like, girl, that life does not work that way at all. Puling is over at Zama's house, and Zama tells Puling that she should find out more about her dad. So she's like, you should go over, to the courthouse, to the hearing, and listen. I want to know what is going on at Zama's house. Like, I didn't mention it a couple episodes ago, but when Puling went over there to tell her mother that, well, she went over to tell Zama, but Zama wasn't there. So she told her mom, just tell her, they found my sister. Zama's mother had two bruises. She had one on her back and one either on her face or like right here on her chest, on her like collarbone area, I think. But I think it was on her face. And so then I didn't want to say anything then because I was like, okay, I try not to indulge in anti-blackness. So I was like, okay, maybe like that could be a birthmark or something. So I left it alone. But this, and then Zama went over to Puling's house a couple episodes ago, and she's like, oh, well, my mom's at home by herself, kind of like it was an urgency that she gets back to the house. And I'm like, okay, I didn't want to say anything about it then, but this time Zama Puling said something to Zama. I can't remember what it was, but she asked her, Puling asked Zama why she had a bath, and she was like, have you seen the people that my mother brings to this house? If we get a season 2, I want to know what is going on in Zama's household. I would like to know. They don't have to give us all the details, but let me know something. I just wanna know what's going on. Or if y'all know something that I missed, if I missed something, comment down below and tell me what I missed, because I want to know, like, what's going on there. So anyway, on the drive to school the next day, the radio station is talking about the student teacher thing, the affair. And so Puling's mom is looking at her like sideways, like it wasn't you, was it? And of course she's still like, you're acting weird. I saw you up there in Pume's stuff, even though she hasn't told her. So she's like, it's not you, is it? She's like, oh no, mom, it wasn't me. So this, by the way, this whole car ride, there is a black SUV behind them, and I immediately was like, somebody is following y'all. Y'all know my detective go off real quick. I be Nancy Drew over here. I seen it. I was like, somebody is following y'all. So they're just having this conversation in the car, and she asked Puling, she was like, you're not having sex, are you? And Puling's like, no, I'm not having sex, Mom. Like, I'm not trying to have this conversation. Really. She just asked her, she's like, you've been acting different. And she just told her, she's like, I'm doing my best to trying to move on from Pume, and it's kind of moving away from that just a little bit. She's like, so I'm doing the best that I can. Puling goes to Wade's locker and has the nerve to tell him that she is tired of hurting people. Sis, you have had me and others in go for 5 episodes now. We're going to finish this. There's no, I'm quitting. I'm not going to do this no more. We going to finish this. Yes, we are. Fakili and her mom are in the office yet again, honey. Her mama in there going off on Miss Daniels about the fact that Fakili wasn't protected, and no, it's both her parents, matter of fact. They were in there once before when Riley went through the school, and you could just hear her mother yelling like, you were supposed to protect my daughter, yada yada yada. And Miss Daniels is like, I was in here in the office with swim coach, so I didn't know what was going on. But they're in there again, and they're basically doing the same thing. Fakili's innocent. Fakili would never do this. You know, he took advantage of her. And for once in her life, or excuse me, for once in 5 episodes, I heard Fakili speak up, and she finally told the truth. She was like, you know, he didn't take advantage of me. Like, I partake in this relationship. And even Miss Daniels is like, there's only so much that we can do because Fakili is of consenting age and it's not illegal. And I was like, ooh, Lord. So her mama was not trying to hear none of that. Oh, she also quickly reminded her, you know, we love to throw our weight around when we have money. We've donated yada, yada, yada to the school. La, 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 la. Don't nobody care about none of that. Fakili's mom wants to now direct her anger to whoever created the group chat. So she's like, whoever created the group chat, like, I want them suspended. Like, you need to find out who it was. Y'all comment down below and let me know who you think created the group chat, because I'm gonna be honest. What if, just stick with me for just a second. I've noticed that Miss Reese and her bad attitude, like, even though she's friends with Fakili, I don't know, there's just something off there. Like, even though she's her friend, you know how you have that friend, like, some people have friends who, even though they're your friend, they, maybe jealousy or envy, and so they revel when you do bad. What if it was Reese? But we gonna see. But I don't know. But what if it was Reese? I really feel like that. What if it was her? But you let me know how you feel about that down below, or if you have some suspicions of who it could have been. It could have been Wendy too. You know, Wendy a prime suspect now that I think about it. It could have been her. Okay. Now, speaking of how I said, you know, your friends revel in your downfall. Now, Wendy and Tahira are already reveling in Fakili's downfall, low-key. Tahira tells Wendy that she and Wade have spent some time together. And Wendy was kind of giving her a look like, oh, he's beneath you. Now, one of two things. One, either Wendy likes Tahira. Or two, because I haven't seen Wendy with, like, any other friends, she's just afraid to lose her friend. It's one of those two things. So she was saying, Tahira was telling her how she was going to be doing, she had done like a movie review, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and Wade was there too. So it's one of the two, and I haven't figured out which it is yet. Outside of class, Wade is waiting on Tahira, and Pauline thought he was waiting on her. Honey, he scooped Tahira up real quick and then walked right on off. You know, remember, because Wade had already told Pauline that, you know, once all this is over with, like, they were done. So she's forced to, you know, like, go off on her own, right? Keela and KB are talking the day after the kiss, and they're giving excuses of why they kissed each other, yada 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 yada. When Pauline walks up, and so Pauline is already looking at Fakili like, you know, they're not seeing it for each other, right? So Fakili hurry up and ran on. Now, Miss Daniels had did a press conference, and she did not release Fakili's name, right? And so Wendy and her messy behind are in the office again because she's grilling Miss Daniels about taking inappropriate sexual activities seriously. And I'm like, this is not your place to be in this office doing this, ma'am. But I know that she just really wants to ruin Fakili's life. Like, that's all that this is about. So I'm like, girl, since she wasn't getting anywhere with Miss Daniels, what did Wendy do? Wendy ran outside to the press. They were outside. And what did she do? She released Fakili's name to the press. This is the student who was sleeping with a teacher. I was like, oh my goodness. I hope this makes you feel better. I hope this makes you sleep better at night.
Okay, now how did your life change? Did you get the guy? Did you get the job? Is your house any bigger?
Like I said, Zama and Fakili have planned to go to the court hearing the next day. And over at Fakili's house, the press is all outside because now they got Fakili's name and they know who the student was, right? So, Fakili's mom is in the house and she's like, oh, we're gonna move. Now, you and I know that she really wants to move because she's trying to get Fakili away from Pulang and anybody else who might suspect that she is Pume. Now, she's going to use this as a guise to do it under the fact that, oh, the press and bullying, yada, yada, yada. But Fakili walked down there and Fakili like, we're not going nowhere. Like, I like my school. Like, this shall pass. Like, we gonna be all right. And so her husband told her, he was like, you know, what's the rush? Like, school is almost over with, and then, you know, we can discuss it then. Chris gonna show up at Zama's, right? He's trying to convince her to get back with him, right? But in the process, he's trying to convince her to get with him and Mark. Remember, the Mark is also the guy that she caught him with. So he tells her that basically, you know, it could work between the three of us. And I'm like, do not let this boy convince you to do something that you don't want to do. Cause just because he's cute, he's not cute to me. But just because he's cute, we're not going to do that. Here goes Zama again. Talking like she be talking, saying the most to my son Fakili. Excuse me, Pulang has been obsessed with Fakili since she first met her at her birthday party.
Hush, you talk too much. Homegirl, you never share.
I was like, bro, you know how Chris is. Chris think he a detective too. He be out here trying to put 2 and 2 together. It don't be right. But he be out here trying to put 2 and 2 together too. I was like, here we go. He is out on a date with KB and he tried to kill her. He had her standing in the middle of a some kind of like skate park thing where all the skaters come through us. I was like, girl, get off down there. We don't do that. Get off and down there. Get off and down there. Like, sit on the side and watch. We not gonna be putting our lives in danger like that. Anyway, they're sitting off to the side and KB says, I love you. Ooh, she was a little taken aback. She was a little scared. She didn't say it back. She was like, oop. Oh, no, sir. KB and his friends break into the school. And during this time, there's that black SUV again, but it has a symbol on the side of it now. So Fakili goes in there with them, right? And they're about to, like, go out and, like, I guess skate through the school. But Fakili's like, no, I don't want to go skate through the school. Like, she tells them, like, nobody's ever told me that they love me before. I've never told anyone that. She's like, oh, but I love you too. And I was like, all right. It's a little early because y'all hadn't known each other like that, but okay, whatever. So they go in one of the classrooms, and I guess this is just a school to have sex in the classrooms. I guess this is what we be doing in our free time at this school. We Parkhurst the sex school because that's all that we be doing at the school. So they have sex at the school on the floor. I was like, what is going on? Okay, but after this, going home, Pulang feels like a newly deflowered woman. Honey, she got a smile on her face until she gets to the house and see the police. She pull up and run inside. Come to find out someone has broken into their home. So she's like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh, nothing has been taken. She goes into her room. Now, remind you, Pulang had put that DNA test that she bought with her mother's money under her bed, right? Now, thank God they didn't find her diary because her diary still had that she was going to do a DNA test on Fakili and stuff, right? But they did take the DNA test, gone, and they stole her laptop. And so when they came in her room, she didn't say anything about the test, of course, but she did say, oh, you know, they took my laptop. And I was like, whoever took that DNA test did not want you to take the DNA test. And I was like, oh, it was probably Fakili's mom. I wouldn't put it past her. Now, Pulang goes to her right-hand man, right? And so she's telling him about the vehicle that was following her. Her house been broke into or whatever. And so with the quickness, Wade pulled up the symbol. And guess who the symbol on the car belonged to? Same symbol as KB's, the company that KB's dad owns. And he was like, this is probably who took it. And I was like, ooh, the story is coming together. Her and Wade put the puzzle pieces together real quick. And there was like, it's a strong possibility that Fakili is Pume. It just is. Over at Fakili's house, her mom and dad are getting into it now. I think they're fighting about the press being outside. Her mom's upset with him because there's nothing that he can do. So Fakili is all in her feelings, honey. So she tear up her room crying and whatnot because she all distraught because her and the swim coach together. Meanwhile, over at his house, Riley is putting him out like she should be. She put him out. She told him because you're an insecure man, because when your career didn't go the way they was supposed to, you were insecure about letting a grown woman take care of you who wasn't even concerned about it. You at least had a job. You were bringing income into this home, but because you was hurt by your little ego, honey, and your career didn't go the way you wanted to, now you out here looking for a little young girl. Fakili is, like I said, she's spiraling out of control, and she's actually saved by Chris from drowning because she was drinking and stuff. He asked her, what were you doing? And she was like, oh, I was trying to remember the reason why I even like swimming, because, you know, she, like she said, she's always done what people have told her to do, so she's not even sure if she still likes to swim. Here he come carrying bones as usual. He told her what Zama said, right? So he was like, we should go to the school to her locker and see what's in there. So Fakili was like, no, we're not gonna do that. Like, anything she gotta say, she gonna say it in my face. I was like, about time we investigate some things like we should have been doing from the get-go. This court hearing had me floored. Puling and Zama showed up, right? Come to find out, Puling's dad had went to KB's dad's agency, right, and put Pume up for adoption before she was even born. So there was some point in time in there when he didn't want a child, because she would have been their first child. There was some time in there where he didn't want a child. He had also had told her mother to get an abortion. So all of that came out in court, right? So Puling and Zama got up and walked outside. Well, when they walk outside, guess who pulled up? KB's dad, right? This whole time we've seen KB's dad. He's been nice. He's been a gentleman. He's been great, right? He threw all that out the window. He said, okay, let me show y'all who I really am. I was like, okay. He came up. He asked Puling how she was doing, nastily. And then he said, do you want to ride? Because young girls shouldn't be walking around here by themselves. I was like, sir, are we threatening? Are we threatening? I was like, sir. So Puling says, and what are you doing here? And he said, oh, I am keeping up with the case that a client of mine basically is wondering about. And I was like, the client is Fakili's mom. I was like, oh my gosh, this man the whole time has been right here in our faces, and we thought he was cool, calm, and collected. He been lying to us.
Got him!
In our faces. Look how he did us. Dirty. Puling was in the process. I think she was about to tell Zama the truth about why she had transferred schools, when she got a text from Fakili, right? So she goes over to Parker's school, right? She's in there, and here comes Fakili. She upset, pushing her left and right, like, you know, what's your issue with me? You know, on some rah-rah type stuff, right? She pushed her one too many times, and Puling dropped her backpack. Now, in her backpack is her notebook with all the evidence files and everything, right? So, Puling picked it up, and Fakili picked it up, and Puling basically broke it down to her. She was like, 17 years ago, my sister was abducted the same day as your birthday. And she told her, she said, I don't think it's a coincidence. She said, I think you are my sister, Pumele Kumolo. And I said, girl, oh my God. So Fakili was in there looking broke down and shook, honey. Now, let me get my thoughts real quick on the whole season as a whole. Okay, I didn't want to say anything in the first episode, but I was ecstatic when I seen that it was 2 brown skin / dark skin girls as the lead. A girl was elated, okay? I don't care if it was set in Africa. I don't care if it was set in Russia. If we talking about some black people, I want to see black people that look closer to my skin complexion, okay? I don't care. You know, we always get the light skin. I understand it. I get it. It's cute too, but, you know, so is my complexion. So is my sister's complexion, who is the deepest of darkest shades, and I think my sister is beautiful. Okay, she's my younger sister. So I was elated to see that. All in all, in 6 episodes, the way this story twisted and turned, there was some drama, there was, you know, a little love connection here and there. I think they did pretty good. I'm hoping there is a reboot for season 2, because I think in season 2, they can at least explore, now it'll be simple to do the DNA test. It'll be easier for Keely and Pauline can work together to find out if her mother abducted her. And I think yeah, I think that's about it. So you guys tell me how you felt about this whole season as a whole. Tell me how you felt about this episode. Tell me what you think they could probably do towards a season 2. Oh, also they could, I guess, if they do find out, you know, all this is real, all this is true, they could kind of go along the roads of like acclimating Fakili into their home, into their lifestyle, because it will be a change if she is really her sister, to go from that household that is extremely wealthy to a household that's not so wealthy. So who knows how this could go. I mean, for all I look at me trying to put a plot together. Look, for all I know, Fakili's mom and dad could like give a lump sum of money to Pauline's mom and dad. I don't know. Let me hush, because I'll be out here doing the most. But y'all just tell me how y'all felt. I will see y'all in the next one. I'm coming back probably around Sunday, or at least I'm gonna be trying to film Saturday/Sunday-ish. It won't be a review. I think I'm probably coming back just to take a little breather real quick with a story time and a try on haul, because I bought some things because I thought I was going to be out of work a little bit longer to just be at home and be cute. So I will share those clothing with y'all. So I will see y'all in my next video. Remember to subscribe, and I love you guys. Bye.